Chess Endgame lesson for everyone, especially beginners. One of my new followers has requested me to create a video or create a video lesson about this kind of endgame. King and pawn versus king. Why? Because he usually encounters this one. Unfortunately, most of the time he loses this endgame. The question is, white to move. Is it a draw for white? Can white draw this one, or black can easily win because black has this extra pawn? Two squares to become a queen, or black to move. Can white still find a way to draw this endgame, or black can clearly win this endgame? You may pause the video if you want to study this one, especially if you're just new in chess and you want to improve, you want to learn how endgame works. So this is your opportunity. The answer is, regardless, white to move or black to move, this is a draw game. And for us to determine if you can draw this endgame, we have to have some criteria or checklist. Number one, if the king is just following the pawn or at the back of the pawn. Remember, this pawn is just two squares to become a queen, and this king is at the back following the pawn. So you can definitely draw this endgame. Or if the king is anywhere right beside the pawn and you are the one to oppose the black king here, this is a draw. Why? Because if, for example, the black will push the pawn, you all you have to do is to block. You will not go here for that's queen. You have to block the pathway of the pawn, and how this king will support this one without getting this steal. So this is a draw game. It's very critical for you to understand when to go here or here. Because if you go here immediately without the king here, it's a different story. Now, it is the black the one opposing you. Instead of you opposing the black king, it's the other way around now. Since the black is the one opposing you, you have to move away from the position. Anyway, opposition has 135 square or squares away between two kings. This one square between two kings. And opposition will give you the authority to stay in the position and will drive your, of course, opponent's king, and will get now a chance to what? Get inside or penetrate in your target square. The target square of this king is here. So since from this position, you, for example, immediately move your king here excitedly without knowing that black king can oppose you, you have now to move away. If you're gonna go here, of course, you cannot go back to prevent the promotion. If you will go here, this is the perfect timing for black to push the pawn. Why? Once again, white king cannot go here. Check, that's illegal. No choice for white but to move up. And this is the target square for the black king to support the promotion. And this is unstoppable. Now, the question is, where will I go? If I cannot go here and here without the king here or here, you will just play along with these squares. This is the best pattern you can have or technique you can have for this kind of endgame. Remember, if the king is at the back of this pawn, don't leave these two squares. Just play along. Of course, if you are the black player here, you will do everything to confuse the white piece here. Like, you will go here, for example, since, okay, here, you may go here, and then, and here. Now, if the white, for example, excitedly move here once again, oppose, lose for white. So, white has to stay two squares. Now, if the king will go here, perfect timing to oppose, because every time the black will push the pawn, draw.